this first lesson, we're going to keep things super simple and just start with the thing that everybody, as a cliche, says that they can barely draw. And that is the humble stick man, or if you want to be more gender neutral, stick person. So pretty much everybody's known how to draw these since they were 3, maybe even as young as 2 years old. And you get into this habit of just sort of letting these out over time because this is the way that you were taught how to do it, right? We got arms, we got legs, we got a spine, we got a head. I mean, it's really all you need to convey the idea of a person on a 2-dimensional flat image plane. But what if I told you that you could simply take this idea, upgrade the way you do it? Let's look at this stick person where you have your arms, your spine, your head, and your legs. And let's just add a tiny bit more detail, just a little bit more complexity, right? So we'll start with the head. We'll keep it a circle because circles, Lord knows those are hard enough to draw, right? When you're just starting out. So just keep it a simple circle. Next, you got that neck. But instead of just doing that same sort of V-shape or line shape arm, we're going to branch off here into some shoulders. And instead of going straight down for the spine, we're just going to draw a box. And then one more box, and we'll do one last box. So already, instead of using just a straight line all the way through, we've gone and we've divided the torso into 3 simple pieces. 3 pieces that are pretty easy to draw. You could even make them circular if you want. But we're using shapes instead of line at this point to convey our idea, which is all drawing really is. It's just a way of translating your ideas. Next, instead of doing arms that are only 1 bone, we're going to do the stick man a solid, and we're just going to draw a dot at the end of these arms. And those are going to represent elbows. We can do another dot if we want, and those will represent hands, or later wrists. Finally, we're just going to go in and draw some legs. Of course, a little longer than that. I'm drawing some circles for knees. We'll finish up with some feet. So now what we've done is we've upgraded our idea of the stick person. And now it's a little more person than stick, you know? And drawing is essentially just this. Learning to draw better is really just taking these ideas that you have that are really rough and very vague and basic and learning how to communicate them a little more effectively with tools such as lines and dots and shapes and, you know, all that good stuff. So really, drawing is something you can learn. You don't need to be super immensely talented. You just need a system for proceeding and the will to practice. And pretty soon you're off to the races and you can feel yourself creating, and that's a really addictive feeling. Anyway, just one more time, let's just do that stick person for this exercise. So we'll start with the head again. We can even draw in the spine if you want, but make it a little curvy, almost like a C or an S, because spines have a curve to them. Next, we'll go with those shoulders and our first box, stacked on our second box, stacked on our third box. And we can even do the legs this time if we want. Inside of our body, we actually have that pelvis structure, and that's kind of what houses the legs that start right here. So you can just go ahead and draw those legs out, finish with a knee, draw the other leg out, finish with a knee, then kind of follow suit with the arms after we're done here, drawing these legs out. Dude's probably sitting. Elbow, hand. That's kind of long, so let's try that again. Elbow, hand. And since it looks like the stick person's sitting, we're just going to quickly draw them a little chair, right? So let's take our stick person analogy and say you would draw a chair kind of like this. I'm going to lighten the color real quick. Kind of like this. You got some legs, you got some lines. What more could you really want out of a chair, right? It's just a really simple object. Well, in the case of turning our stick man or stick person into slightly more complex shapes, we can do the same thing with the chair. You just think of the back of the chair, the bottom of the chair, and the legs of the chair. Pretty straightforward. And the great thing about this is these are just bases. We can even build on top of this. And as you get better and better at building up different shapes, different combinations, then that's when you can really see your skill evolving, when you begin to add a little more complexity and detail to these ideas. But this is a great starting point if you've never drawn anything but a stick person, or really haven't tried to do much in terms of drawing construction, which is what we'll address even more in the next video. Again, just try drawing this basic sort of stick person 2.0 and do it in a couple different poses and ideas, and follow this method for just getting out of this phase and into this next one. I know it's a little bit of a jump, but I believe you can do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Happy drawing!